Hey guys, it's me, Zizi, and today we're going to be making a Hexside cosplay cape from one of my all-time favorite shows, The Owl House. And although I designed this specifically for the capes from the Hexside School of Magic and Demonics, it is a really great all-purpose short cape that you can make in any color for any cosplay. Also, this is a great beginner project, so if you are new to your cosplay sewing journey and have a sewing machine, this is a great first challenge. It is not that difficult, just a few seams, and it doesn't require many materials. So let's start. What you need for this project. For sizes extra small through extra large, the cape requires 3 yards of cotton fabric, black thread, a gold button. I like the size of around 25 millimeters. You do not need to be super specific about this. It's just preference. Take the fabric and fold it in half and half again. So we are going to be pinning and cutting through 4 layers of material. Take the pattern, and a quick note, if you are into making your own patterns, I always save the remnants of my purchased sewing patterns specifically to cut out my own designs. It's a great way to recycle all that leftover tissue. There are 3 pattern pieces to this cape: the hood, the back, which is cut on the fold, and the front. Since we're cutting through 4 layers of fabric, this is going to mean that you have 4 hood pieces, 4 front pieces, and 2 back pieces. A quick note on the pattern, there are tons of free cape patterns available. My pattern will soon be available on my Etsy shop as a digital download, so if you want to make what you see here, you have the option to buy my pattern, which includes instructions, soon. It is not yet on my shop, but I will post a notice here on the channel when that's up and ready to go. So once all of your pattern pieces are cut out, you're going to have, again, the 4 hood pieces, the 4 front pieces, and then the 2 back pieces. Once all of your pieces are cut out, we are first going to pin together both sets of hoods, and then we're going to go ahead and pin the fronts to the backs. So you're just going to line up the edges there of like the shoulder and edge of the cape and pin the front to the back, and then do that for the other pieces as well. After everything is all pinned together, we're going to take these pinned together pieces of the Hexside cape over to the sewing machine, and using a 5/8 inch seam allowance, we're going to just straight stitch all of the pinned edges. So we're sewing the hood pieces together twice over, and then the front pieces to the back pieces twice over. After you're done with the seams, remove all of those pins. After getting all of those pins out of there, we're going to take the hood and pin it to the body of the cape, doing your best to match the center seam of the cape hood with the center back of the cape body. After you have both sets of hoods pinned to both cape bodies, just straight stitch, again using a 5/8 inch seam, along that pinned edge. At this point, you pretty much have 2 raw capes. So you take these 2 raw capes and, with the right sides together, pin them all the way around the outside of the cape. So we're pinning up the front and around the hood and all the way around the bottom. So take the pinned together cape back over to the machine, and starting on one of the front sides, we're going to stitch up from the front, around the hood, down the other front, around the bottom of the cape, and up the front we started at, leaving a gap. This is important, leaving a gap that you can at least fit your hand through, because when we're done stitching this, we're going to flip it right side out. Now when you flip this cosplay cape right side out, you really want to make sure that you first trimmed the curve at the bottom to around 1/4 inch and trimmed the corners to get nice clean curves and corners. Make sure to press out those corners using your fingers or a pencil, and as soon as we're done flipping this right side out, we're going to give this cape a nice iron, making sure that the edges are nice and flat, and especially focusing on that opening we made to turn the cape right side out. Because as soon as we're done flipping this right side out and ironing it, you're heading back to the machine one more time. So now to finish the cape, we're going to stitch completely all the way around the edge, making sure to close the open gap that we ironed shut. After we've stitched all the way around the edge of the cape, we're going to change out for our buttonholer, and on the left side near the top, but right under the seam where the hood connects to the body of the cape, so on the body of the cape, we're going to make a vertical buttonhole. The very last step is to stitch your golden button snugly on your Hexside cosplay cape. And just like magic, you have a completed Hexside cosplay cape, perfect for any Owl House cosplay. Personally, I like to use mine for a more casual cosplay on convention Sundays. And remember, with switching out the colors, you can have just a nice little half cape for cosplay or everyday use. Thank you so much for tuning into ZZ Cosplay. Feel free to leave a comment if you have questions. Maybe there's a project you'd really like to see me try. Let me know what cosplays you're working on. I'm currently starting to do how-to videos for pretty much every item on my Etsy shop, plus working through a backlog of cosplay process videos for my personal cosplays, so if that sounds interesting to you, subscribe and ring that bell for new videos.